Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Okay. Donald Trump fired the official overseeing jobs data after dismal employment report, according to this headline in AP News. Now, for most of you, probably myself included, knowing who heads up the Bureau of Labor Statistics isn't like on our bingo card of anything we're really concerned about. Just somebody in the government doing their job. Here's the background. Data came out today, which is Friday, August 1st, that the job figures showed that hiring slowed in July. It was much weaker in May and June than previously reported. In this article, in May, the job gains revised. Originally were 125,000. They were revised down to 19,000. And for June, they were reported to be 147,000. Those got revised down to 14,000. So you're looking at something that was reported as 270,000 jobs revised to 33,000 jobs. In July, currently, it's reported that 73,000 positions were added. Unemployment rate ticked up from 4.1 to 4.2%. Now, what Trump wrote, no one could be that wrong. We need accurate job numbers. I think, and even this article acknowledges that that these discrepancies are rather large, and they try to explain it that sometimes companies don't report right away, so it makes it hard to estimate the job numbers. So Trump was saying, nobody could be that wrong. We need those accurate job numbers. She'll be replaced with someone who's much more competent and qualified. Important numbers like this must be fair and accurate. They can't be manipulated for political purposes. She's basically claiming that she's a Biden appointee, therefore she manipulated the data. As opposed to they got more data and they make adjustments like they do every month. And as one person pointed out rather cynically, he wasn't upset with the job reports for the previous 5 months to that. So it just looks like, what it is that he didn't like those numbers and he had a tantrum. So he directed his team to fire this Biden political appointee immediately on Truth Social. She'll be replaced with someone much more competent and qualified. In my opinion, today's job numbers were rigged, all caps, in order to make the Republicans and me, all caps, look bad. Remember, he all caps the things that are important. Rigged in me. I'm the victim here. So what does it mean? And Michael Wolff's, the excerpts of Michael Wolff's testimony from Epstein, one of the comments that came through, Epstein was commenting that Rhoda Barrett, I believe, or Rona Barrett is his admin. He goes, she was a perfect admin. And then his bodyguard or his security, Calamari, these are very devoted people to him. And anytime he got information he didn't like, he just, as Epstein put it, had a tantrum, screaming and shouting and carrying on. Not because he had a point. He was a crybaby. And he has tantrums because he's a toddler-in-chief. When they talk about toddler-in-chief, that's what they mean. He gets job reports he doesn't like. He has a freaking meltdown. Lay on the back, kick your feet on the ground, saying it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. What a baby. This is what we have to deal with the leader of this country. And I use that word leader in the lightest, most sarcastic sense of the word. He is the antithesis of a leader. I've taken leadership courses at different companies because I'm in a position of leadership, and he exhibits all the things that they tell you not to do. And tantrums would be among them. Actually, I don't think they tell you not to have tantrums. They kind of expect that you're mature enough that you don't need to go down that path. As in another article, somebody pointed out, this is what dictators do. They shoot the messenger. Okay, so let's look at these job numbers here as they came out and try and understand the energy around it. Then we'll try and figure out what happened with those and how Trump is feeling, because he's got the big feels and his feelings are hurt. Entertainment purposes only. What's the energy around this jobs reports that came out this month, as well as the revisions? Everything's revising down because the economy's not doing well. And that's what Trump's afraid of, is that it's going to show people that the economy's not as strong as he represents it to be. Mind you, all this stuff is coming out right after he announced his American Freedom Day, or whatever pile of crap moniker he had for April 2nd. The economy's down and things are getting worse. The challenge with he's trying to keep it quiet. He doesn't want people to know this. It's counter to his message. And so, and then we've got, this is the detoxification and the mellowing out. This is the opposite. Underneath it, instead of trying to do things to calm things down and reassure people that everything's going to be fine, upturns and downturns happen. Instead of calming things down, he's riling things up, because he's the antithesis of a leader who would calm things down. In the past, the Hierophant. This is an indication of his government. Mind you, when he was first in, as it's been pointed out, he was riding on 8 years of Obama's economy. The economy was strong and roaring forward. When Biden got in there, we were in the throes of COVID, supply chain issues, worldwide economic downturns because of this virus. And much of Biden's time was trying to recover and get the U.S. economy moving forward again. And so, by the time Biden could get things going, this train, that is this freight train that's the United States, isn't steaming along at that full head of steam that it normally has. It's just getting back up to speed. And Trump doesn't have years to do his things that slow it down and start derailing it. It's going to happen a lot sooner than he was expecting. And he's starting to see the consequences of that. And he, as Epstein said, he's functionally illiterate. He can't read a balance sheet. He didn't see this coming, and he doesn't know how to deal with it because he's not a freaking genius like he tells everybody he is. Current situation, 5 of Cups. Well, at least they're adding jobs, but, he had a tantrum. It is not the information he wants, so he kicked all these cups over. They got the May, June, and July numbers are terrible. And that's not acceptable. So he has a tantrum, kicks things over. So what does he do? He fires the woman in charge and blames her for the shortfall. But these numbers are showing you the overall health of the country. Rather than do something to fix it, try and come up with some policies or some ideas to address it, he would rather just throw the woman under the bus. Lesson to be learned, 3 of Cups. To him, this is a successful strategy. That obviously this woman rigged those numbers to make him look bad. That's not leadership. That's the antithesis of leadership. Outcome, Ace of Cups. This man is not running on intellect. There's no swords in this, other than this. It's running on emotions. He is all about emotions. He needs people to adulate him. And if somebody gives him numbers that don't cause adulation, he gets the big feels and has a tantrum. Now, what's interesting is because of these poor job numbers, that could be a sign that the economy is slowing down a little bit. And Wall Street is now expecting the Feds may incorporate a 25 basis point, which is 0.25% drop in the interest rates next time that they meet, which is what Trump's been screaming for. Of course, he wants like a 3% drop, which would be, that's not how you do it. That is just not how you do it, and wouldn't do what he expected it would do. So the Fed may lower interest rates to help spur the economy so that job growth happens again. What's the deal with these job numbers? Why were they so far off? What can you tell me about the May and June job report numbers? My initial reaction is that they got sexed up, as it were. I think there might have been some pressure to report gloriously wonderful numbers. I could be wrong. It just could be, as the article said, they didn't have enough data and they did their best with it. But the vibe I get from is that people are scared for their jobs, so they start telling the orange felon what he wants to hear. It fills his melon. Okay, I'll give up poetry here. What's the story behind this job numbers? Why are they so far off? Victory, paying attention. Looking, they're being scrutinized by the emperor. They need to look good for the Mad King. So let's go there and send the message that he wants to hear. Prior to that, they knew that the numbers weren't good. They didn't know how to give this to him. So they scrambled around to work on the messaging. They had a choice to make. Do you tell them the real stuff or do you not? And they realized that, if they tell him what he doesn't want to hear, they're going to face the consequences of it, because he's not a fair and just arbiter of bad news. So what do? They told him what he wanted to hear. Interesting how this card was also the outcome of his feelings. They told him what he wanted to hear. And this card is saying that he is going to continue to be told what he wants to hear. This firing of this woman at this position, is going to resonate and reverberate, with the other departments. Because, I guess the woman who was in charge, the director of this department, was a political appointee. Everybody else are civil servants. But she was a political appointee, and she can be removed, as she was just now. The person replacing her was, what did they say? Let me get the quote here. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez Durenner said that the previous woman, McEntarfer, was no longer leading the bureau, and William Wietrowski, the deputy commissioner, served as the acting director. This labor secretary said, "I support the president's decision to replace Biden's commissioner and ensure American people can trust the important, influential data coming out of the BLS." Kissing butt. It's already started. The damage control and don't yell at me is already started. And I'm predicting you're going to see it by the Three of Cups here. We're going to see more of this. How will this impact other departments that report, economic data to Trump? How is this going to impact them? Four-carder. Death card. Yeah. Yeah. Does that mean they don't report? No, they'll be reporting, but they understand the consequences of telling the king what he doesn't want to hear. Strength card. Is this, keeping your mouth shut? King of Swords. There's that card again underneath there. They know to tell him stuff he doesn't want to hear is a problem. Maybe some will be brave and will do it anyways. Others, I think, are going to keep things close to the vest. Underneath it all, Trump has been, with Doge, firing a bunch of government workers. They need their jobs. They want their jobs. They want their pensions and stuff like that. And they may give him what he wants just so that they can maintain their position. I'm not expecting a lot of bravery out of the civil servants, and I'm expecting no bravery from politically appointed leaderships there. Big picture spirit, what else can you tell us? Seven Carter read rapidly about these economic numbers in Trump's tantrum, for lack of a better description, because it's an accurate description. What else do we need to know about this? Try and read as fast as I can. Okay, here we go. This is the end of things. Normally we have practical information. It's the end of practical norms, secrets underneath there. Now people don't want to report what they know for fear of doing their job is now going to be vilified and punished. They've received the message loud and clear. They will lie, cheat, and steal if they need to. They want to keep on to their jobs. They don't want to be kicked out. So they'll do what they need to do to calm the things down, or else they're going to lose their jobs. No strength in there. No strength cards whatsoever. This is just survival. Folks are just trying to survive this guy because he's not reasonable or practical. When finally somebody reasonable and practical comes back in there, then they can start doing their job properly. But now it's like, Fox News isn't really news, it's editorials, but they call it news. This is like replacing news in the newspaper with just editorials. That's what we're going to get until he's no longer in power. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.